Ever wondered what really causes turbulence when you're flying? It can feel like the plane is shaking, but what's happening up there? Imagine you're on a road trip, cruising smoothly along a highway. Suddenly, you hit a bumpy patch filled with potholes. The car jolts and shakes, but you know it's just the road. That's similar to what happens with turbulence in the sky. Turbulence happens when the smooth flow of air around the plane gets disrupted. Think of the atmosphere as a vast ocean, with different currents and waves. When a plane is flying, it moves through these air currents. Sometimes the air is stable and calm, and other times it gets a little choppy due to various factors. One common cause is changes in wind speed or direction. This can happen near mountains, where air flows over peaks and creates waves. Another reason could be weather systems, like thunderstorms, which can kick up strong winds. Even flying from one temperature zone to another can stir up the air. It's like moving from warm water to cold water in a pool. The temperature difference can create ripples. But here's the reassuring part. Pilots are well trained to handle turbulence. They receive updates about weather conditions and can often predict when they might encounter bumpy air. Planes are also designed to withstand turbulence. They undergo rigorous testing to ensure they can handle much more than what you might experience in flight. So, while turbulence can feel unsettling, it's usually just a normal part of flying. It's caused by various factors in the atmosphere, much like bumps on a road. Understanding this can make your next flight feel a little smoother. What causes turbulence? One part of the answer lies in understanding how air moves. Think of the sky as a vast ocean, but instead of water, it's filled with air. Just like waves in the ocean, air moves in currents. These currents can be smooth and steady, or choppy and unpredictable. Imagine you're swimming in a calm sea. The water gently pushes you along and it feels relaxing. That's similar to flying in smooth air. Now picture a stormy sea with high waves crashing around you. That's like the experience of turbulence. In both cases, the movement is driven by the environment around it. Air doesn't flow in a single layer. Instead, it exists in layers like a thick blanket being tossed by the wind. Some layers might be moving quickly, while others are slower. When these layers interact, they can create turbulence. Warm air rises and cold air sinks, much like how a warm bubble in boiling water rises to the surface. Here's the surprising part. Even on a clear day, there could be invisible currents at play. These might be caused by the landscape below, such as mountains or buildings, which disrupt the airflow. As planes fly through these varying air currents, similar to a car driving over a pothole. But remember, pilots are trained to handle these situations. They have tools and techniques to navigate through turbulent areas safely. So when you feel a few bumps in the air, it's just a natural part of flying in our dynamic atmosphere. Understanding this makes turbulence feel a bit less daunting. Curious about what other factors contribute to turbulence? Stay tuned. What are the different types of turbulence that can make your flight feel bumpy? Let's break it down into three main categories: clear air turbulence, thermal turbulence, and mechanical turbulence. First, clear air turbulence. This type happens when planes fly through invisible waves of air at high altitudes. Imagine riding a bike on a calm day, then suddenly hitting a patch of rough pavement that jolts you a bit. Clear air turbulence can be unexpected because it often occurs without any visual cues, like clouds. Pilots rely on weather reports and their instruments to navigate through these bumpy patches. Next up is thermal turbulence. This occurs when warm air rises from the ground, often on sunny days. Picture a pot of boiling water. As it heats up, bubbles form and rise to the surface. In the atmosphere, the sun heats the Earth's surface, causing warm air to rise. As this warm air pushes up against cooler air above, it can create a bumpy ride. You might feel this kind of turbulence when flying over mountains or urban areas where the sun heats the ground unevenly. Finally, we have mechanical turbulence. This happens when air flows over obstacles like mountains, buildings, or even trees. Think of a river flowing over rocks. The water creates ripples and waves when it encounters these obstacles. Similarly, when wind flows over terrain, it can cause disturbances in the air. This type of turbulence is often more predictable and can be anticipated by pilots. So turbulence can come from the high skies, rising heat, or the ground below. Each type affects the flight differently, but remember, pilots are trained to handle these situations effectively. Curious about how pilots navigate through turbulence? Stick around, there's more to explore. Have you ever wondered how pilots manage turbulence when it strikes? It's a fascinating process combining thorough training with advanced technology. Pilots are like skilled captains navigating a boat through choppy waters. Just as a captain adjusts their course to avoid rough waves, pilots can change altitude to find smoother air. Before every flight, pilots check weather reports and forecasts. They receive real-time updates during the flight too, so they know where turbulence might occur. If they anticipate a bumpy ride ahead, they can adjust their altitude. This is similar to a captain steering their boat higher in the water to avoid a sudden swell. By climbing or descending, pilots often find a layer of air that's much calmer. And here's the surprising part. Commercial airplanes are built to handle turbulence, so even when the ride gets a little bumpy, the aircraft is designed to flex and absorb those movements. This flexibility is crucial. It keeps the plane stable and passengers safe, even when the air gets choppy. Additionally, pilots communicate with each other and air traffic control. If one flight encounters turbulence, they share that information. It's like passing notes in class. The next pilot will know what to expect and can plan accordingly. It's a normal part of flying, and it's something that pilots are well trained to manage. They work hard to ensure that every flight is as smooth and comfortable as possible. Next time you hit a bumpy patch, remember that your pilots are expertly navigating the skies, just like a captain steering through waves. Curious about what else happens in the cockpit? Stick around to learn more. What if I told you that aircraft are designed specifically to handle turbulence? That's right. Planes are built to be incredibly flexible, much like a tree bending in the wind. Think about how trees sway during a storm. They flex and shift, absorbing the force of the gusts. This design principle is at the heart of aviation safety. When engineers create an airplane, they conduct rigorous testing to ensure it can endure all kinds of conditions, including turbulence. The wings, for instance, are engineered to flex significantly without breaking. They can bend up to several feet during a bumpy ride. This flexibility allows the aircraft to absorb the energy from turbulent air while keeping you safe and secure inside. And here's the surprising part. The materials used in airplane construction are incredibly strong yet lightweight. Modern planes use advanced alloys and composites that can withstand significant stress. This means even when the plane encounters turbulence, it's not just holding its own, it's actually designed to thrive under those conditions. Plus, pilots are trained to recognize and anticipate turbulence. They communicate with air traffic control and other pilots to navigate around known rough patches whenever possible. If they can't avoid it, they're fully prepared to guide the plane through safely. So even if the ride feels a bit bumpy, you can trust that your plane is like that tree in the storm. Strong, flexible, and designed to weather the turbulence. Flying is extraordinarily safe, and turbulence is just part of the journey. Next time you feel those bumps, remember how well-equipped your aircraft is to handle it. It's part of what makes air travel one of the safest modes of transportation. If you're curious about more aviation wonders, don't forget to subscribe. Turbulence is just a natural part of flying, much like bumps on a road. Imagine driving over a gravel road. The car shakes a bit, but it's designed to handle those bumps without a problem. Planes are built with the same resilience. When the aircraft encounters turbulence, it's responding to changes in the air. This can happen due to weather changes, mountains, or even other planes. Think of the atmosphere as a big ocean of air. Just like waves can rock a boat, moving air can create ripples that cause a plane to bounce. And here's the surprising part. Pilots are trained to handle turbulence. They know how to navigate around the rough patches whenever possible. Modern planes come equipped with advanced technology that helps them sense turbulence ahead, so they can adjust their altitude or flight path. Even when turbulence happens, it's usually mild. Most of the time, it feels like a gentle rocking. Severe turbulence, which can feel more intense, is incredibly rare. The planes themselves are designed to endure much more stress than what we feel during these moments. So the next time you feel those shakes, remember, the plane is built for this. It's all part of the flying experience and nothing to worry about. If you enjoyed this insight into flying and want to understand more fascinating aviation facts, you know what to do.